The jet stream is buckling, Arctic air is spilling south, and over the next 10 days, we are going to see a pattern that hasn't been this active in years. I'm going to walk you through what's coming, where it's going, and why this matters. Not just for the snow, though there will be plenty of that, but for the sustained cold that's going to affect nearly everyone east of the Rockies. Let me start with what's happening right now, because it sets up everything else. The contrast across North America this morning tells you everything you need to know about what's about to unfold. From Texas through the Gulf Coast, temperatures have been running 10 to 15 degrees above normal. Humid conditions, unstable air mass. That instability produced severe weather and tornado warnings across Mississippi earlier today. Meanwhile, the high plains are already feeling Arctic air. Eastern Colorado saw temperatures drop to 17 degrees this morning, wind chills down to 5. That is the first wave of cold air, and it's just the beginning. Between these two air masses, you have everything else. Missouri sitting at 40 degrees with calm conditions. South Carolina dealing with rain and near-record warmth. Northeast Florida enjoying what some might call perfect winter weather. Clear skies, comfortable temperatures in the 60s and 70s. Wisconsin was seeing rain this morning, but as I'm recording this, reports are coming in of snow starting to fall in south-central areas. The transition is happening right now. That's how quickly things are changing. The meteorological setup driving all of this comes down to three factors. First, high pressure building along the west coast. Second, a deep trough developing in the jet stream over the central United States. Third, a negative Arctic oscillation that's going to persist for at least the next 2 weeks. When you combine those three elements, you get what we're about to see. Repeated southward plunges of Arctic air, multiple opportunities for winter storms, and a pattern that doesn't break quickly. The jet stream is the key to understanding this. Right now, there is a modest dip centered over the Midwest and Northeast that's transporting some colder air across the Great Lakes. But over the next 48 hours, that dip intensifies significantly. By Tuesday and Wednesday, the jet stream will be plunging from the Canadian Arctic all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. When the jet stream dips that far south, it acts like a highway for Arctic air, and Canada has plenty of that right now. Temperature anomalies across central and northern Canada are running 15 to 25 degrees below normal. That air has to go somewhere. It's coming here. The timeline breaks down into three distinct phases. Phase 1 happens today through Wednesday. Phase 2 runs Thursday through Saturday. Phase 3 begins Sunday and extends into the last week of January. Phase 1 brings the first significant snowfall to the northern tier, and Alberta Clipper is moving through the upper Midwest right now. These systems are called clippers because they move fast and they typically not major snow producers, but they set the stage for what comes next. Michigan and Wisconsin are seeing snow develop from this system. Northern Minnesota, the Dakotas, they'll see light to moderate accumulation today and tonight, 3 to 5 inches in most areas. Some locations could push towards 6 or 7 inches, particularly in the snowbelt regions of Michigan. Behind that clipper comes colder air. Not brutally cold yet, but noticeably colder than what we've had. Tuesday morning, temperatures across the upper Midwest will be in the teens and low 20s. Wind chills in the single digits. Tuesday afternoon into Wednesday, the pattern intensifies. That's when the jet stream really buckles. A stronger low-pressure system develops across the Midwest. This one has more moisture to work with. It is also slower moving, which means longer duration snowfall. From Minnesota and Wisconsin across Michigan into the Ohio Valley, we're looking at extended periods of snow Tuesday night into Wednesday. The National Weather Service blend of models shows widespread 3 to 7 inch accumulations across these areas, but within that you'll have pockets of much heavier snow. Northern Wisconsin could see 8 to 12 inches. Michigan, particularly in the lake effect zones, could see a foot or more. The higher elevations of the Appalachians from West Virginia through Pennsylvania into upstate New York, they reposition perfectly for this system. 7 to 10 inches wouldn't be surprising. New England gets into the action Wednesday as well. Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine. Interior sections could see 6 to 10 inches from this system, enough to shovel multiple times, enough to impact travel significantly. Now, the I-95 corridor, Washington, Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York. This is where it gets complicated. The models have been inconsistent. One run shows potential for coastal snow. The next run backs off completely. That tells you we are in a marginal setup for the coast. The most likely scenario based on ensemble guidance is that temperatures stay too warm along the immediate coast. You might see some snow start to fall Thursday morning, maybe an inch accumulates, but then it changes to rain as warmer air moves in aloft. That's frustrating for snow lovers in those cities, but it's the reality of the pattern we are looking at. Interior sections of the mid-Atlantic do better. Western Maryland, central Pennsylvania, interior New Jersey. Those areas could see 3 to 5 inches because they stay cold enough throughout the event. Maryland, I know some of you have been waiting for significant snow. It's been 2 years in parts of the state without a major event. This system has potential for interior areas. For the Baltimore and Washington metro areas, it's more questionable. Don T, get your hopes up for big totals along the coast. Connecticut and Rhode Island sit right on that dividing line between snow and rain. It'll come down to exact storm track and exact temperature profiles. Could go either way. That is a forecast we'll need to refine as we get to Wednesday. Phase 2 begins Thursday. This is when the cold really arrives, and it is not just cold air, it's Arctic air. There's a difference. Thursday morning, wind chill values across the Ohio Valley will be in the single digits, some areas feeling like 0 or below. The Midwest will see wind chills of 10 to 20 below 0 in many locations. Even along the Gulf Coast, it's going to feel like the 20s and low 30s. That's a 40 to 50 degree drop from what you've been experiencing. On top of the cold, Thursday brings the possibility of snow much further south than normal, and this is where uncertainty is highest. Multiple model runs over the past few days have shown different solutions. Some show a developing low-pressure system that brings light snow from eastern Tennessee through Kentucky into the mid-Atlantic. Others show nothing organized at all. The ingredients are there, cold air will be in place, moisture will be trying to come out of the Gulf of Mexico, but the timing has to be perfect. If the low-pressure system develops too slowly, nothing happens. If it develops too quickly and tracks too far east, coastal areas see rain instead of snow. Right now, ID put the probability of accumulating snow in northern Georgia, eastern Tennessee, and eastern Kentucky at about 20% for Thursday. Low, but not zero. It's worth monitoring. In the south, even an inch or two of snow causes significant problems. Roads aren't treated. Drivers lack experience. What is routine in Minnesota becomes dangerous in Alabama. For the Northeast, Thursday continues snowy and cold. Whatever fell Wednesday will stick around because temperatures want to climb above freezing in many areas. Some locations might see additional light snow Thursday as energy moves through aloft. Thursday is also when we might see significant lake-effect snow in northwestern Indiana. The setup favors it. Northerly winds, long fetch across Lake Michigan, cold air moving over relatively warmer water. When those conditions align, you get intense snow bands that can dump 6 to 12 inches in just a few hours over very localized areas. Michigan City, South Bend, areas just west of Fort Wayne. Those are the prime zones to watch. Friday brings a brief lull in snow activity for most areas, but the cold intensifies. Friday morning will be the coldest morning of the week for many locations. Temperatures in the single digits across the upper Midwest, teens and low 20s in the Ohio Valley. Even the Southeast will see temperatures in the 20s and 30s, which is 15 to 20 degrees below average for mid-January. Wind chills Friday morning will be brutal, 20 to 30 below zero across the northern plains, 10 to 20 below across the upper Midwest and Great Lakes. Even in the Northeast, many areas will wake up to wind chills below zero. And Friday afternoon, we're not warming up much. Highs will struggle to reach the 20s across much of the Midwest. The Ohio Valley might hit the upper 20s and low 30s, but with any wind at all, it'll feel much colder than that. Friday night into Saturday, Phase 3 begins. This is the second Arctic blast, and this one is stronger, more widespread, and longer lasting than what we see Thursday. Saturday morning, another weather system moves through. This one brings additional snow chances from the Great Lakes through the Ohio Valley and into the Northeast. The GFS model shows light to moderate snow Saturday across Ohio, Pennsylvania, and into New England. 2 to 4 inches in most areas, with locally heavier amounts possible. But the bigger story Saturday is the cold. The second wave of Arctic air crashes south, and this one reaches further. By Saturday evening, freezing temperatures extend all the way to central Florida. Orlando could see temperatures approach 32 degrees. That doesn't happen often. The Gulf Coast will see temperatures in the 30s and low 40s. The Southeast in the 30s. The Mid-Atlantic in the 20s. The Midwest and Ohio Valley in the teens and single digits. And the northern plains could see actual air temperatures drop below zero. Wind chills Saturday night into Sunday morning will be the coldest of the entire event. Sub-zero wind chills will be widespread from the Rockies to the Appalachians. Some areas could see wind chills of 30 below zero or colder. That S, dangerous cold. That S, the kind of cold where frostbite can occur in less than 30 minutes on exposed skin. Sunday continues cold but quiet for most areas. The Arctic air is locked in place. No major storm systems on Sunday. Just cold, sustained cold, the kind of cold that lasts multiple days. And here's what makes this pattern particularly notable. It doesn't break quickly. Computer models show below average temperatures persisting across the eastern two-thirds of the country all the way through Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. Some guidance suggests another Arctic blast could arrive during the last week of January. We could be looking at 2 weeks of below average temperatures for a large portion of the country. That's significant. That impacts heating bills. That strains infrastructure. That requires preparation beyond just the next few days. Now, let me talk about confidence levels because I know some of you want to know how certain we are about different aspects of this forecast. For the next 72 hours, confidence is high. The Clipper system today and tomorrow, the stronger system Tuesday night into Wednesday, the first Arctic blast Thursday. All of that is very likely. ID put confidence at 85 to 90%. For the exact snowfall totals in any given location Tuesday through Thursday, confidence is moderate. We know the general pattern. We know who's most likely to see snow. But exact amounts depend on storm track, snow ratios, and localized factors like lake effect. Call that 60 to 70% confidence on the details. For potential snow in the southeast Thursday, confidence is low, maybe 30%. The setup exists, but everything has to come together perfectly. It's a low probability event that's worth monitoring but not worth betting on. For the weekend and next week, confidence on the cold is very high. Probably 90% or better that sub-zero wind chills will be widespread Sunday morning across the northern tier. Very high confidence that below average temperatures persist through next week. Confidence on snow amounts over the weekend is moderate. Systems will move through. Cold air will be in place, but we are 6 to 7 days out, and that S, where forecast uncertainty increases, maybe 50 to 60% confidence on the general idea, lower on specifics. Beyond next weekend, everything becomes more uncertain. Models are hinting at more winter storm potential during the last week of January, but that is 10 to 14 days out. Too far for anything beyond general trends. Let me address something that needs to be said. Some weather coverage treats events like this as the apocalypse. It's not. This is winter. Some of you lived through the blizzard of 1993. That event paralyzed the East Coast. This isn't that. Some of you remember January of 1977 when the Ohio River froze solid and temperatures stayed below zero for days. This isn't that either. UV seen worse. UV survived worse. This pattern deserves attention and preparation, but let's keep it in perspective. At the same time, dismiss it. Multiple winter storms over 7 to 10 days. Sustained cold for potentially 2 weeks. Wind chills that could be dangerous. That's enough to cause problems if you were not ready. Power outages are possible, particularly if heavy snow brings down trees or power lines. Have flashlights, batteries, a way to stay warm without electricity. If you have a generator, make sure it's ready and you know how to use it safely. For those in areas that rarely see snow, an inch in your region causes more disruption than 6 inches in Minnesota. You don't have the equipment, roads don't get treated quickly, drivers don't have the experience. If snow is in your forecast, plan to stay home. It's not worth the risk. Stock up on essentials now, not because supply chains will fail, they won T, but because it is easier to shop before the storms hit than after. Get what you need for a week. That includes food, medications, pet supplies, batteries, anything you use regularly. Protect your pipes. If you're in an area where sustained freezing is unusual, this is critical. Let faucets drip slightly overnight. Open cabinet doors under sinks so warm air circulates. Insulate exposed pipes. A burst pipe is expensive to fix and the water damage can be devastating. For elderly family members or neighbors, check on them regularly. This cold is sustained. Heating costs will increase. Some people on fixed incomes might try to save money by keeping their heat lower than they should. Make sure they safe and warm. Bring pets inside. If you have animals that must stay outside, provide adequate shelter and a heat source if possible. Water bowls will freeze. Check them multiple times daily. If you must drive during these events, prepare your vehicle. Emergency kit in the trunk. Blanket, flashlight, snacks, water, phone charger, ice scraper, small shovel. If you slide off the road or get stuck, that kit could save your life while you wait for help. Keep your gas tank at least half full. In extreme cold, fuel lines can freeze if your tank is nearly empty. A full tank also runs your heater longer if you get stranded. For those dealing with lake effect snow, understand the accumulations can vary dramatically over very short distances. One neighborhood might get 4 inches while 2 miles away gets 15 inches. That's the nature of intense lake effect bands. They highly localized but very intense where they set up. Don't shovel heavy snow alone if you can avoid it. Shoveling is strenuous activity in cold weather. Heart attacks increase during major snow events. If you have heart issues or you're not used to physical activity, ask for help or wait until conditions improve and hire someone. It's not worth risking your health. Clear snow from exhaust pipes and vents. Every year, people die from carbon monoxide poisoning because snow blocked their exhaust while they were warming up their car or running a generator. Take 2 minutes to check. It could save your life. For those with snow blowers, make sure they reworking before you need them. Change the oil if you haven't this season. Keep extra fuel on hand. Know where your safety equipment is located. Gloves, goggles, sturdy boots, dress in layers. Multiple thin layers trap air and insulate better than one heavy coat. Wear a hat. You lose significant body heat through your head. Cover your ears. Wear gloves or mittens. Mittens keep your hands warmer than gloves because your fingers share warmth. But gloves give you more dexterity if you need to work outside. When wind chills are below zero, cover exposed skin. Frostbite can occur in less than 30 minutes at those temperatures. Cheeks, nose, ears. Those are the areas most vulnerable. Stay dry. Wet clothing loses its insulating value rapidly. If you outside working and start to sweat, that's dangerous in extreme cold. Pace yourself. Take breaks to cool down slightly before you overheat. Know the signs of hypothermia: shivering, confusion, slurred speech, drowsiness. If someone shows those signs, get them inside immediately. Remove wet clothing, warm them gradually with blankets. Don't use direct heat. Call for medical help if symptoms are severe. Now let me give you some specific regional breakdowns so you know what to expect where you are. Upper Midwest, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan. You're in the bullseye for this pattern. Multiple rounds of snow today through Wednesday. Total accumulations by Thursday morning could reach 8 to 15 inches in many areas. Higher amounts possible in lake effect zones. Wind chills Sunday morning could reach 20 to 30 below zero. You know how to handle this, but don't underestimate it. It is going to be a rough week. Great Lakes and Ohio Valley. Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Kentucky, you'll see multiple snow events Tuesday through Saturday. Total accumulations likely 4 to 10 inches depending on location. Cold air arrives Thursday and intensifies over the weekend. Wind chills Sunday morning likely 5 to 15 below zero. Prepare for sustained cold through next week. Interior Northeast, Pennsylvania, upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine. You looking at significant snow Tuesday through Thursday. 6 to 12 inches in many areas. Some higher elevation locations could see more. Very cold Thursday through next week with occasional additional light snow. Wind chill Sunday morning will be below zero across most of the region. Mid-Atlantic. This is where it gets complicated. Interior sections from western Maryland through central Pennsylvania could see 4 to 8 inches Wednesday into Thursday. Coastal areas from Washington through Philadelphia to New York will likely stay too warm for significant accumulation. Maybe an inch or two before changing to rain. Temperatures still drop Thursday with wind chills in the teens and 20s. Southeast. Northern Georgia, eastern Tennessee, eastern Kentucky. There's a low probability, maybe 20%, of seeing some snow Thursday. If it happens, it probably won't amount to more than an inch or two. But that's enough to cause problems in areas without treatment equipment. The bigger story is the cold Friday and Saturday. Temperatures in the 20s and 30s, 15 to 20 degrees below average. Gulf Coast. Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. The warm, humid pattern breaks Wednesday. Cold air arrives Thursday. Temperatures drop into the 30s and 40s by Friday. Some areas could approach freezing Saturday morning. That's unusual for mid-January. Protect sensitive plants. Make sure outdoor animals have shelter. Check pipes if you have exposed plumbing. Florida. The cold reaches you by Friday and Saturday. Northern Florida could see temperatures in the 30s Friday night into Saturday morning. Central Florida, including the Orlando area, could approach freezing Saturday morning. Southern Florida will stay above freezing but still feel cold by your standards. Lows in the 40s and 50s. Prepare for the coldest weather of the winter so far. Plains states. Cold air is already in place across the northern plains. Dakotas, Nebraska, Kansas. You'll see additional reinforcing shots Thursday and again Sunday. Wind chills Saturday night into Sunday morning could reach 30 below zero across the Dakotas, sustained below average temperatures through next week. Now, some of you are wondering about longer-term patterns. What does the rest of January look like? What about February? The Arctic Oscillation Forecast shows negative or neutral values for at least the next 2 weeks. That favors continued cold and additional winter storm potential for the eastern United States. We're not looking at a quick return to above-average temperatures. February signals are mixed. Some long-range guidance suggests the cold pattern could ease somewhat. Other guidance keeps it cold. It is too early to know. But the active pattern we are in now could persist for a while. This week and next week will test infrastructure in some areas. Power grids will be strained, natural gas demand will spike. In areas with sustained cold, frost depth increases, which can impact water mains and utilities. It's not apocalyptic, but it's real. I want to come back to something I mentioned earlier. The pattern we were in right now, with multiple winter storms and sustained cold, this is what winter used to look like more regularly in the 1970s and 80s. Some of you remember that. Winters had more bite back then, more frequent cold snaps, more frequent snow events. We've had a run of milder winters in recent years. That doesn't mean winter is gone. It means pattern cycle. Right now, we're in a pattern that favors winter weather. That could continue for weeks. It could break next month. Weather patterns dawn to follow a schedule. What matters is what is happening right now and over the next 10 days. Multiple opportunities for snow, sustained cold, wind chills that could be dangerous. That's what we need to prepare for. Stay informed. Forecasts will be updated as these systems get closer. The National Weather Service will issue watches, warnings, and advisories for your specific area. Those will have localized information I can provide in a broad overview like this. Check forecasts daily. Conditions can change. What looks certain today might shift tomorrow. What looks unlikely today might become more probable. That is the nature of weather forecasting. We work with probabilities and refine them as we get closer to events. If you are traveling this week or next, build in extra time. Roads will be snow-covered in many areas. Visibility will be reduced during snow events. Cold temperatures make black ice more likely, especially on bridges and overpasses. Give yourself extra time. It's not worth rushing. If conditions deteriorate while you re-driving, find a safe place to pull over. A gas station, a rest area, even a parking lot. Wait it out. No appointment or destination is worth risking your safety. For those flying, expect delays. Winter weather impacts airports across the Midwest and Northeast. Snow removal takes time. De-icing takes time. Allow extra time to get to the airport. Check your flight status before you leave home. One more thing about wind chill. People sometimes dismiss wind chill as not real. That is dangerous thinking. Wind chill measures how quickly you lose heat. It is not the air temperature, but it is the temperature your exposed skin feels. If wind chill is 20 below zero, your exposed skin will freeze at the same rate as if the air temperature were 20 below zero. It's absolutely real and absolutely dangerous. The cold we are looking at over the weekend and into next week is serious. Sub-zero wind chills are not routine. They require preparation and caution. Limit time outside. Watch for signs of frostbite and hypothermia. Take this seriously. That's the forecast. Multiple winter storms, sustained cold, wind chills that could be dangerous. It's going to be an active 10 days. Prepare now. Stay informed. Stay safe. You've handled winter before. You will handle this, but it requires respect and preparation. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your families. Check on neighbors who might need help. And remember, this is temporary. It won't last forever.